As an indie artist, I go through loads of different phases of creating music, from the voice note all the way through to the final mastered product of a song. As of recording, I have just released a new single called Unsettled. I really enjoyed releasing this single because it's a single that's kind of spoken a lot to me personally and helped me through a load of things. But I'm not going to be talking about that today. I'm going to be talking about how I went from making a demo of this song, Unsettled, all the way through to the final version. And I'm going to be comparing the difference between the two. Now, of course, there's going to be quite a vast difference, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But I thought I would show you the demo and listen to the real thing so that you can kind of see the process of how a song goes from demo to final version. If you are a follower of my stuff, thank you so much. I really appreciate you subscribing to my channel. It makes such a difference for me as a creator, vlogger, artist, whatever you want to call me. And if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button, like this video if you enjoy my content, and consider joining membership. I'll tell you more about that later. Over the last few years, I've grown in confidence when it comes to using DAW's digital audio workstation. It's something when I started songwriting that I had no clue about at all. No interest in getting into production at all. Just wanted to write songs and gig as much as possible. But now things have changed and I'm actually enjoying exploring kind of creating tracks from nothing. And although I am no way a producer's producer, I do enjoy making very simple demos, and it helps me in the songwriting process to actually go from having a bit of guitar or keys on a phone and something jotted down in a notepad to actually having something that sounds remotely like what I want a song to sound like. So why bother with a demo? I guess if you're not producing your own stuff yourself and giving a producer just something with a guitar and a vocal, it's very hard for them to imagine what you want the song to sound like. So by creating something, even if it's just like whacking out a load of MIDI keyboard drums, you know, all guitarists think they're a drummer deep down inside and I'm no different. You know, that sort of stuff is really helpful for a producer to know the feel, the flow of a song and potential parts, especially if there are key hooks or riffs that you want to add in to the song. Most of the time I will program stuff in a MIDI keyboard plus add some bass using a Moog Sub Fatty. I love that instrument and it's helped me so much to be able to create stuff from nothing, particularly with songs actually. I found I've really enjoyed songwriting off the Sub Fatty. Perhaps it's because it's monophonic, which means you can't play chords or anything else, so it's really a great instrument for not only bass but creating melodies out of nowhere. So by creating a demo, bring it to a producer in the studio if that's the way you choose to work as a songwriter, then you've got something to go on. The producer's happy to kind of go, okay, I understand what you're trying to do, even if you haven't created it. And the producer can kind of suggest two things. One, hey, we're going to really go in the direction that you've already created, it really works, it makes sense. Or two, we're going to ignore the demo, it's good, but it's not quite what the song could be, and you start again. But having that demo is like a little bit of a guide to where the song should end up. In a minute, I am going to sit down at my computer and play you the two different songs. And I'm going to talk to the camera, you guys, about the song and how I crafted that element of the song. I'm going to go through it section by section, so verse 1 and chorus, and then stop and then compare it to the verse 1 and chorus of the final track. And I'm going to do the same, verse 2, chorus, bridge to the end of the song. So I'm going to stop at 3 or 4 different places and compare it so that you have an idea of what I'm talking about. There are some things that are really basic and obvious when you listen to it, so just be aware of this. Firstly, the demo is not mastered. It's going to be a lot quieter than the final product. Secondly, the vocal is going to be rough. It's not going to be a perfect vocal take. It's a rough vocal take that I've just done once. I've not tried to comp it or make it edited or nice in any way. It is just one raw vocal take. And number 3, the demo is rough. Like, it's got rough edges to it. It's not a full sound as the final. That's kind of obvious, but I didn't spend ages on the demo to make it sound, I've got all the parts in place, I've got this and that. It's just a reference and a guide to where the song could go. So I just want to clear that up beforehand in case you're thinking, oh wow, it sounds completely different. Yeah, that's the idea. The produced version is going to sound way different, but the demo will give you an idea of how I first started. And before I sit down at a computer to play this, I thought you guys who haven't heard this song yet, it's a track called Unsettled, and you can listen to it here on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link below to that still video, or you can listen to it on Spotify, and I'll put a link to my Spotify profile as well, so you can listen to it there. Okay, so I'm here in front of my desktop, and I'm about to play the first little section of Unsettled, and I'm going to just talk through a little bit after I've played that section, the verse and the chorus, and then I'm going to play you the final version and just compare it so you get an idea of the different sounds. Here we go.
Feeling the wind of change is thrusting, and all my best intentions thrown. I'm drifting closer to the edge, the silent cliff top suspense. Feeling the wind of change is rushing, unsettled, I can't shake it off. I'm unsettled, I can't shake it off.
Okay, well, it's amazing just like listening back to a demo after not hearing it for months and months and months. And the first thing that strikes me is, why did I put any drums in at all in that first section of the song? The Moog is obviously very prevalent in that growly kind of bass, which is less so on the track itself. And yeah, obviously some lyric changes as well, which at the start of the song, I remember going into the studio with Ian, and he was talking about first line is the weakest line of the song, what are you going to do about it? Idea, but very driven by that Moog fat kind of sound and that woo kind of sound, which, see whether you can hear it in the final track.
Feeling the wild winds waking, and all my best intentions thrown. I'm drifting closer to the edge, the silent cliff top suspense. Feeling the wild winds waking, I'm unsettled, I can't shake it off. I'm unsettled, I can't shake it off.
So you can obviously hear a massive difference in the track. I think when we look at the Moog side of things, looking at how the tone of that Moog is very subtle in comparison to the kind of heavy, thick kind of Moog sound that I had in the original demo. And what I'm really happy about is I got rid of those drums that were kind of tap, 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 whatever, and it's more like there's just a little bit of a boom, 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 which was, I think, the Moog, the percussion side of the Moog itself. So that was a big change, and obviously all the ethereal kind of synthy sounds that are kind of slightly pulsing. And the one thing that we kept was that woo kind of sound that goes up. And listening back to that, I now remember the decision we made in the studio to use that but not introduce it straight away in a dominant way until the chorus, and I think that's worked really well, and I just love that sound. That's just a Logic sound, it's nothing special. I've just warped it a little bit and it's made it all the way through to the final track. The other thing to note, of course, is the lyric change at the very beginning of the song. We were talking a lot about the winds of change and how the wind of change was kind of a very typical lyric, but the wild winds, that kind of made more sense for this song and kind of set up the song with a completely different feel. Suddenly you're out in nature in the cold, the wind is blowing, you're feeling the wildness of that wind in your hair, and you're out there on your own with your thoughts, and that kind of set up the song so much better. Ready for part 2? Let's go.
Pick up my ball of thoughts, throw it. I'll let the wind direct its path. Could hear that pin drop to the floor, seconds later exploding. Pick up my ball of thoughts, throw it. Unsettled, I can't shake it off. Unsettled, I can't shake it off.
Okay, now let's listen to the final track and compare the difference in the sounds.
Pick up my ball of thoughts and throw it. I'll let the wind direct its path. Could hear that pin drop to the floor, and seconds later exploding. Pick up my ball of thoughts and throw it. I'm unsettled, I can't shake it off. I'm unsettled, I can't shake it off.
So what's really interesting for me is the lack of drums. Up until chorus 2, there's no drums at all. It's just simply that boom, boom, which is not a drum kit. It's completely different. It's the Moog, a sound from the Moog, which is percussive, and we've just carried on with that kind of sound instead, and it just seemed to work. We just thought, well, why add drums in if that's not where the song is going? There's harmonies in there as well, which I didn't even throw on the demo, which I probably should have done because that would have helped with a bit of direction. And generally in my stuff lately, I've not thrown loads and loads of harmonies on anything. I've tried to kind of steer away from that and have one main vocal, definitely like doubling up vocals and stuff like that, but not really trying to add too much harmony unless the track needs it. I think it's a kind of dangerous place vocally to get into, to harmonise everything that's there. I really want the harmony to be strong when it comes in and purposeful. The drums again is like in the chorus of the demo, there's like this kick in there kind of pushing the song along a bit, which really makes the song almost race a little bit more than what it should, and kind of feels a bit more jerky than perhaps this version, the final version, which just lets it breathe a little bit more. Let's go. Part 3.
See that winter is up ahead. If I don't get my head together, I'll be blown away. I will be locked out, adrift, a castaway. If I don't anchor down, I will pass Unsettled, can't shake it off. Unsettled, I can't shake it off. I can't shake it off. Can't shake it off. Can't shake it off. I can't shake it off. 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 Can't shake it off.
So I know already the song has suddenly changed very much between where this demo is and where the final version is. We talked for a while about the song feeling quite short for what it was and the need to actually lengthen it a little bit. Most of the time with producer conversations it's all about cutting the song down, but for this particular song it felt like going into the bridge, I can see the winter is up ahead, the falsetto bit came way too soon and just needed the track to breathe a little bit. In the demo I had a real interest to kind of just keep this crescendo going and going and going, and even with the vocal dropping back into like this kind of reverby sound, I really wanted to kind of have this crescendo. But what the instrumental did was bring the crescendo slightly sooner, and then you'll hear it drops back down and then the dynamics build again, which is a lovely little move, I think, production wise, that we landed on, that kind of makes a song really sit well and be what it needed to be. Have a listen to the final version now, from the second chorus to the end. It's a nice surprise to me listening back to the demo how we ended it pretty much, though we lengthened the final tag way longer, and that was kind of a mistake, but it just seemed to work well and so we kept it. But that little kind of kind of sound at the very end we kept, which is amazing. It's really interesting also hearing the drums, like in that final chorus the kick comes in with 4 on the floor, and that's something that I introduced earlier in the demo, I think in chorus 2, with the kick coming in to give it a little bit more movement, and it just was in the wrong place essentially. It just needed to be further back in the song. For me, the instrumental is the part of the song that really lifts it to that place of crescendo and then allows the song to drop and then come back up again and introduce that final, what we used to call the Christmas Juno, which is a many of those parts we kind of played between us and figured out what they were, and the only part where there's guitars is in that instrumental and bridge section where the guitars were amped up with 2 stereo amps and really like at high volume in the room next door, the studio next door, and just like stacks of reverb. That's the only real part where the guitar is at all. I find it amazing, like listening back to different parts, how much that kind of tremolo effect is going throughout the song, and we literally just lifted that off from my Logic demo and put it into the final song. So it goes to show that demos, while it is completely different as a song to that first demo, the demo really did shape the song and helped us decide at points, hey, this is a part of the song that really, really works. Is it in the right place? Like, is that drum, that kick in the right chorus? Is this the right part? Do we need to change parts? Did the Moog sound different? Yes, it did. But it informs us and helps us to make decisions. Yes, no, maybe. And in that, you then start allowing your own creativity to overtake you and to create the other parts of the song. So I hope that gives you an idea of where I start with tracks and where they end up. Thank you so much for watching today. My name is Pete. I go under the artist name of Pyramid Park. You can find that song Unsettled on my YouTube channel and on Spotify and anywhere else you like to stream music. If you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and consider joining my membership where you can get a load of stuff, behind the scenes footage, loads of content before it's released, loads of music before it's released. I'm even working on a book right now, and you might be able to get early chapters of that if you join my membership program or Patreon. Depends what you're into really. But if you want exclusive stuff from me, go check that out. There's a link down below. Plus, I have new merch, including this, Oi Pyramid. Thanks again for watching today. I'll see you soon.